Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Matt.
Today, our topic is making the grade. But what does making the grade mean to you, Matt?
Well, making the grade means like succeeding or getting the grade, getting the level that you wanted to get or that was desired of you, maybe by someone else. But it's if you made the grade, it means you got what you wanted to, what was wanted of you, what you needed to. So yeah, for me, making the grade, I mean, me and my friends, when we were in university, we would say, D's get degrees. Because no matter if you get an A, a B, a C, or a D, this means you passed and you'll still get your degree. So why work hard to get an A when at the end you still get the same thing? It's just a degree. You might as well have more fun.
So making the grade can mean different things to different people. It's really determined by perhaps the person themselves or other people around them, like their parents or teachers.
Yeah. So even though, some students might say D's get degrees, their mother and father might not be so happy with that expression because, they want a straight A student. So in order to make the grade with that kind of parent, you'll need to get A's.
In my case, I was very lucky because my parents told me that in order for me to make the grade, I just needed to pass all my classes. But I was a responsible student, so I always made sure that I worked extra hard to at least get a grade that I was pleased with.
Try hard. Anyway, I guess we'll find out how some other students make the grade in different countries around Asia when we get into our article after this.
Many students get scared when they know a test is approaching. In Asia, tests are known for being especially intense. It's no wonder then that students in Asia turn to some unexpected practices in an attempt to influence the results. Let's take a look at some of these customs. On the day of the big exam, you might want to start the day with a shower, but be careful not to wash your hair. In South Korea and the Philippines, people believe cleaning your hair will also wash away what you've learned. So if you see students heading into the test room with bedhead, now you know why.
Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about how different students in different countries make the grade. So with our article, it starts off, many students get scared when they know a test is approaching. So some kids or some students, they know that they might be having a test coming up and they start to get really nervous. So when you know something is approaching, it is when something is getting closer to someone or something in distance or in time. So Matt, I could be approaching you to come and talk to you.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes when you know that there's a test coming up, it could also be described as the test is approaching. It's getting closer. As a noun, approach is a way of dealing with a problem or a situation. So Matt and I, we can have different approaches to solving different problems. An example sentence would be, with winter approaching, many birds are getting ready to fly south.
Okay. So in Asia, tests are known for being especially intense. It's no wonder then that students in Asia turn to some unexpected practices in an attempt to influence their results. Let's take a look at some of these customs. Okay, so they're making an attempt to influence their test results. So an attempt is the act of trying to do something. So in this case, they're trying to influence their test results. They're trying to change their test results in some way, I guess probably for the better.
Right.
So for example, he made an attempt to climb the mountain, but he had to turn back due to bad weather. So that means that he tried to climb the mountain. He made an attempt.
On the day of the big exam, you might want to start the day with a shower, but be careful not to wash your hair. In South Korea and the Philippines, people believe cleaning your hair will also wash away what you have learned. So what you've learned might be absorbed by your hair, and that's why you shouldn't wash it.
Okay, so all your knowledge is just stuck to your dirty hair, and if you wash it away, it's all just gonna go down the drain.
Yep.
And your chances of doing well on the test will go down the drain with it.
Right.
So if you see students heading into the test room with bedhead, now you know why.
Oh, so a bedhead is basically when you wake up and you don't do anything to your hair. Usually sometimes people like to shower in the morning. Some guys like to gel their hair or girls like to do their hair. So bedhead is when you just wake up with the way your hair is.
Yeah, and usually bedhead implies that it's like messy. So maybe you went to bed and your hair is sticking up one side, then that would be looking like bedhead, meaning the head that just got out of bed. Now I find it interesting that they're saying in Korea and Philippines, these students will not wash their hair in the morning. But what I found is that in most Asian countries, it's much more common to wash your hair at night before going to bed. So, maybe, I guess though, still in that case, you probably don't want to wash your hair after studying, even if it's before you go to bed, because you are washing away that knowledge.
Right.
Okay, so I think we'll find out how some students in other countries deal with this stress and what they do to get ready for their tests after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Making the Grade。那么 make the grade 是指达到标准、成功，而我们这2天的课程就是要介绍各国祈求考运亨通的习俗。知道考试即将到来时，我们难免就会感到焦虑啊、害怕等等。那在亚洲，考试是出了名的特别激烈，那这也难怪亚洲的学生可能会求助于一些意想不到的做法，来试图要影响他们的成绩。好，那我们就来听听看第一个习俗。在韩国和菲律宾，人们认为洗头发会洗掉你所学的东西，因此啊，如果你看到一个学生一头乱发走进考场，你就知道为什么了。好，文中的 bedhead 它是指起床时的一头乱发，也可以把它拆成2个字 bedhead。好，那么 Kiki 老师在讲到整理头发时，他有提到有一些男生出门前可能会用发胶来抓造型啊，老师用到 gel。G-E-L, gel 当动词，它可以表达上发胶的意思。好，那么单字 approach 当动词表示接近、靠近，它其实也可以当名词来表达方法或是途径。再看到 attempt 在文中当名词表示尝试、企图，我们可以用 in an attempt to 加上原形动词表达试图、尝试做某事。好，那这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 It is no wonder that 主词加动词表示难怪怎么样，什么什么不足为奇。其中的 no wonder 就可以表达并不令人惊讶，并不奇怪。那么 it 在这里是当虚主词，用来代替后面的那个 that 子句。而这个句型里面的 it is 和 that 都可以省略哦。然后 no 你还可以把它改用 little 或是 small 来代替。好，举例来说。He's humorous, charming, and easygoing. It's no wonder that everyone loves him. 他幽默迷人又随和，难怪大家都喜爱他。那我们这个第二句，你也可以直接说 No wonder everyone loves him. 好，第二个重点是 see 当感官动词是指看到。以下介绍3种用法。第一个，我们用 see 加受词加原形动词，那是强调过程或事实。例如 Did you see him take the money?你有看到他把钱拿走吗？第二个句型是 see 加受词加现在分词 VING， 这是强调动作正在进行。例如 We saw a man running after a car， 我们看到一名男子正在追着一辆汽车。第3个句型是 see 加受词加过去分词 PP， 这是表达受词的被动状态。像 Ron saw a police car parked in front of his neighbor's house。Ron 看到一辆警车停在邻居的家门前，那车子是被停的，所以我们用 parked。接话课文中。
Aside from your hygiene routine, your diet matters too. Many students in South Korea and Vietnam are very careful about what they eat, since they think some foods affect their memory. In particular, anything slippery such as seaweed is out because it could make your knowledge slip out of your head. Similarly, in several Asian countries, eggs are avoided because they look like zeros and may curse your score.
Welcome back. Before the break, we have been reading about how students in some countries in Asia prepare for their especially intense tests. So we learned that in the Philippines and South Korea, students will not wash their hair before taking a test because they feel that would wash away all the things they've learned from studying. So let's learn how some people in other countries prepare for tests. Aside from your hygiene routine, your diet matters too.
So aside from not washing your hair, what you eat might affect your test results?
I guess some people believe that. So apart from your hygiene routines, so your hygiene meaning how you keep yourself clean and tidy, and your routine is a noun, and a routine is a series of events usually followed. So for example, she followed a daily exercise routine to stay fit.
So Matt, do you have a daily routine?
I do have a daily routine. So usually I have a exercise routine, which I do in the morning after I wake up. And then I have my, hygiene routine, which is that I take a shower and gel my hair and, try and look nice. And then I go back to bed and sleep for a while.
Well, I have a morning routine too. I would wake up and meditate and do yoga. And like you, I also have my hygiene routine after my yoga and then off to work. So that's some routines that we practice, and many people have different types of routines. Now, continuing with our article, many students in South Korea and Vietnam are very careful about what they eat, since they think some foods affect their memory. In particular, anything slippery such as seaweed is out, because it could make your knowledge slip out of your head. So if they eat slippery seaweed, they might just forget everything that they learned.
Just putting that slime into your body, everything just slides right out. So slippery food, such as slippery seaweed, slippery is an adjective meaning an object or surface that is difficult to hold firmly or to stand on. To stand on firm, like to stand on without falling over. And that because it is either wet, too smooth, or slimy. So for example, the ice made the road slippery and dangerous. So ice is very slippery because it has a wet layer on top, which was very easy to slide on. And I guess you shouldn't eat things like ice either before a test because it's slippery. So be careful with that and other slippery foods. I don't really like slippery food anyway. So maybe that's why I'm so good at tests.
But what about eating ice? If you eat ice, it makes you brain freeze. So do you freeze all your knowledge?
You're going to freeze the knowledge into your head.
And when you write the test, it's all there.
Okay, maybe another theory.
Similarly, in several Asian countries, eggs are avoided because they look like zeros and may curse your score.
So is that all round objects, or is it because when you slice an egg, it has the circle in the middle and the circle on the outside, so it's like a zero? Or is it just all round things? Could oranges also be avoided?
Well, if you mention all those rings and zeros, then what about an onion? If you cut an onion, there's so many layers.
So many zeros.
That's a lot of zeros. So here we have our vocabulary similarly, which is an adverb, and the adjective that we have is similar. So similarly is to be in a similar way to something. So when something is similar, it's kind of the same as something else, but not exactly the same.
You could say they're alike.
They're alike. So there are still some differences. For example, she enjoys learning English, and similarly, her sister loves learning French. So both sisters, they love learning languages, but they're learning different languages.
So they have something in common, but also a little bit different. Okay, so we've learned some of the things students will do, and we learned that, especially I think 2 of these included South Korea. So South Korea is very careful about test taking, it seems. But I think we're going to learn a couple more things that students do when we go into part 2 next time. But that's all for today. So we'll see you later.
Bye.
除了日常卫生习惯之外，饮食也是很重要的。南韩和越南的许多学生对吃非常的注意，因为他们认为某些食物会影响记忆力，特别是任何滑溜咕溜的东西，像海藻，都会被排除掉，因为它可能会让你的知识从大脑中溜走。那么同样呢，在几个亚洲国家，人们会避免吃蛋，以免考零鸭蛋。好，那么文中用到这个 hygiene routine 来指日常卫生习惯 ，hygiene 就是卫生情况。那么 routine 这个单字表示惯例、常规或是例行公事。Kiki 老师有聊到他自己的日常习惯，还有包含冥想、做瑜伽。那我们补充一下 meditate 这个动词 meditate 表示冥想或是沉思。那么 yoga 就是瑜伽。下一个单字 slippery 它是形容滑的、湿滑的。Matt 老师解释时，他有提到 slimy 这个形容词 slimy 是形容黏滑的、黏糊糊的。再看到 similarly 这个副词表示同样的、类似的。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 aside from 是片语介系词，后面可以接名词或动名词。以下介绍2种不同意思。第一个呢 ，aside from 可以表达除了什么什么之外，还有什么什么，这时候意思等同于 besides。例如 ，aside from hiking, he also likes swimming。除了健行之外，他还喜欢游泳。那第二个则是指除了什么之外就没有什么什么，这时候意思相当于 except for。例如 I enjoyed all the dishes aside from the salad。除了那一道沙拉之外，所有的菜肴我都喜欢。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Many students get scared when they know a test is approaching. In Asia, tests are known for being especially intense. It's no wonder then that students in Asia turn to some unexpected practices in an attempt to influence the results. Let's take a look at some of these customs. On the day of the big exam, you might want to start the day with a shower, but be careful not to wash your hair. In South Korea and the Philippines, people believe cleaning your hair will also wash away what you've learned. So if you see students heading into the test room with bedhead, now you know why. Aside from your hygiene routine, your diet matters too. Many students in South Korea and Vietnam are very careful about what they eat, since they think some foods affect their memory. In particular, anything slippery such as seaweed is out because it could make your knowledge slip out of your head. Similarly, in several Asian countries, eggs are avoided because they look like zeros and may curse your score.
Hey, it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. Say, Kiki, if I were a tourist coming to Taiwan and I wanted to say, excuse me, can I use the bathroom? How would I say that?
不好意思，请问我可以借用一下这个厕所吗？
Okay. But I think it's important for us to practice Chinese to English translating.
That's right. So today, let's practice some English translations.
Let's go. 我们台湾有很多外国朋友通常会走错路。那如果他们说 Can you help me? I'm lost. 你会帮忙他们吗？ Yeah? Okay. 那你帮我抽一个。好。这附近有什么知名的景点吗？
Are there any worthy to visit places nearby?
Is there any famous spot near this place?
Is there any famous site nearby?
Next one. 我要怎么去台北101?
How can I go to Taipei 101?
How can I go to Taipei 101?
Very good. How do I get to Taipei 101? Very good. 那今天学到什么呢？
Today we learned some phrases in Mandarin and translated them into English, and they're all about asking for directions. So the first one is, are there any famous tourist attractions nearby? Or you can say, what famous tourist attractions are nearby? And the last one, how can I go to Taipei 101? Or how can I get to Taipei 101? And these are the translations we learned today. KiWi later!